Hi everyone, I am back for another review in the bright light again. I will be reviewing The Terminator. It stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn, and others. Fun fact about The Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger was not the first consideration for The Terminator. He was originally scheduled to play Kyle Reese, which was later played by Michael Biehn. The original choice for the Terminator was O.J. Simpson. Yes, I mean that O.J. Simpson. He was at that time he was a retired football player and also did a few movies. He did the Hertz commercials, the car rental commercials, and he had like a likable persona. And the director James Cameron didn't want OJ only because James Cameron felt OJ was too nice of a guy, didn't look like a killing machine. Yes, you heard that right. He wasn't enough of a killing machine. So therefore we won't cast him, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger was cast and the rest is history, as they say. But that's a fun fact and a little bit of needless information. So the Terminator premise of the movie is set in 2029, but it was made in 1984. So Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a robot, a killing machine, that's brought back into the present from the future to kill Sarah Connor, who is played by Linda Hamilton. And Sarah Connor is someone who's worked as a waitress. She's someone that hasn't really, let's just say, hasn't learned the art of being a waitress, but she just happens to be caught up in this world of like on someone's hit list. And Michael Biehn, who's Kyle Reese in the movie, who also is a robot, gets a hold of Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton, and tells her that the T-800, which is played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, is here to kill her. And basically the whole movie is essentially evading T-800. And while T-800 is scary and destructive and also has killed people with no emotion, Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor always found ways to avoid T-800. And with that, the whole movie's premise is essentially avoiding T-800. In 1984, robot technology wasn't really what it is now, but what I do think the movie was able to portray, at least going into the future, at least in 2029, we're in 2025 right now, so we're only out 4 years. I felt like there was a future into looking at AI. What we know now was something that was already portrayed in the movie back then. So just, if you ever watched the movie and the way how the T-800 looks at things, it was very, everything was basically heads-up display. And it had a heads-up display, it could tell someone's body temperature and things like that. So we're not that really far off these days. But what I do think the movie was about as well is about humanity and not just machine. Machine can be destructive but also great. So machine, T-800, destructive and murderous, but Kyle Reese, who's also a machine, was actually nice and helped Sarah Connor out and helped save her kids, which we later see in Terminator 2, which I did a review on, and I encourage you all to take a look at that. So with that being said, James Cameron was a bit of a visionary, someone that later produced Avatar many years later, but also at the same time at Titanic as well, of course. But James Cameron is someone that's always looking into the future. He has like some people have this visionary mind, and I feel like he was trying to live it during the time of shooting The Terminator. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, at that time, I think did Conan the Barbarian and also wanted a new kind of role, and which he later became known for like action. But he was someone that wanted to kind of make a switch, and he portrayed, I think, the T-800 in a great fashion. Even though my personal favorite Terminator movie is T2, I think T2 was its peak. What I find is that even with all the limited technology that existed in 1984, you had your IBMs, you had some robots that could play the piano and whatnot, as an example. But it was able to turn into something that was murderous, and today with AI, anything can be possible and possibly can be destructive. And this is a great movie to watch. I encourage all of you to take a look at it, and I'll catch you all in the next review.